I think we're live. We are live. Let me see. Yes, we are live. We are live. Let's see if anybody shows up. And then I'll talk about my escapades with the computer that I returned, the second Northern Computer parts that I returned. So I see two people in there. It's because I probably have that on. Yeah. I know it's dinner time. Everybody getting ready for football. Everybody getting ready for some football. All right, we shall see. Somebody will show up, I think. So I don't have to repeat things over and over and over again, which I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. But anyway, my computer, well, the one I took back, I didn't take everything. I took the motherboard, CPU, video card, and memory back. So I kept, yeah, I bought two power supplies. I like to have an extra one anyway, but I kept them, and I kept the M.2 NVMe terabyte drive. I kept that, and actually, I bought an enclosure for it. It's pretty cool, and it works well actually. And I was able to obtain the dump files and read them properly from the crashes I was having, and everything came back to heating issues. Like one said the thermals, one said the CPU, and I think that's what was going on. And it didn't matter. I had it I underclocked it, slightly overclocked it, precision boost, overdrive, just very so slightly. Um, it was 6,000 speed. Uh, Mega trend or transfer memory, and I wanted to run it at that. That's where it was crashing. Well, I did run it at 5200, crashed in that. I switched out the RAM, still crashed. Switched out the power supply. It lasted 4 or 5 days. It crashed again. They actually got some other errors. Had to do an in-place reinstall Windows, and then it crashed after that. And I I took the GPU out, the RTX out, using the onboard one. Crashed with that. So the only thing left to swap out was the motherboard and the CPU. I didn't even want to do that. I took it back. Micro Center, they're very good, even though some of the I was over the 14 days on the CPU and the motherboard had extended warranty. They didn't give me any trouble at all. Just got my money back, or credit my credit card credited. I didn't get anything else. My wife said, she you gotta she told me, you gotta stop doing this. You made 5 trips up there for 2 different motherboards that did not work right. And it's like 100 miles round trip. She's just find one put together. Just find one, and I probably would save some money. So I'm looking Best Buy and Micro Center and everything, but somewhere not real far. Best Buy's a little closer. I got a couple. I got one in Maryland and one in PA. Anyway, they had this one as an i14, which Intel i14 or i7 14 gen. I know they're having problems with it. I kind of wanted one in the back of my mind because they have these. For what I don't game, that's where they're having the issues with when they're gaming. I do not game, I do light video editing and this stream live, right? Anyway, I saw this iBuyPower at Best Buy. It was an i14, i7 14 gen, i7. It was the F series, so it doesn't have onboard graphics. It's locked, processor's locked. That's fine. 32 gigabytes of RAM, and the RAM's only 5200, and it's running at that fine. But it does have an Asus motherboard, which is what I returned. I said I never do another Asus. But yeah, after reading some stuff, and if something goes wrong, I just send it back to iBuyPower. I think I pay for shipping, they pay for it back, and that's for a whole year. And because of the problems they're having for the CPU, Intel, they extended the warranty for 5 years on the CPU. And I'm thinking, man, it's like a no-brainer for me. Yeah, it's got the low end micro ATX, motherboard, the Asus Prime. It's one of their low end motherboards, but it does have 9 USB ports on it, and which is more than enough for me. It's got a RTX 460 video card like what I had on the other one. It's got like ADATA. I think the brand's ADATA. They're lower end, but good lower end memory, and I think the M.2 MVE is a ADATA. It's not as fast as what I had in the other machine. Anyway, I got it, man. When did I get it? Today, I think I got it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday. Anyway, it's running really good. I mean, it doesn't change. I come in here, like I check my thermals. This is where everything was started getting hot on my other one, but not in this danger zone where I thought it was getting into 60, 67. It's designed to run it. AMD is designed to run like at 95, I believe, before it'll cut you off. So what am I? I'm at 32 right now. It's 32 Celsius on the. Let me make sure. Little on the CPU. I'm at 38. That is really good. I was at 67 on the other one, but it still should have not been. It should have not been cutting out or rebooting. So I see 5 people are watching. Could somebody give me a comment and say something? Say anything, just so I know that I know I'm streaming. I checked it out. But yeah, I want to get back into playing, doing some music stuff. But I did buy, like I said, this is there. Epiphotomy, how you doing? So this is what I bought. This is what I can't. I didn't return this because I can always use SSD and M.2 MVEs, and this was really fast. Man, Don, how are you, Donald? This is really fast. This when I was to benchmark it in the PC that I returned, it was like 7,000, 6,000 read and write, or write and read. This is like half that. I don't have the SSD in here. It's not quite as fast. It's still fast. You don't see the difference. But and anyway, so I got this. All good at Delaware. That's very good to hear. Very good to hear. But anyway, I got this, and I had to call for a couple things, just asking about registering iBuyPower. It's like I'm getting somebody from the United States. I think they're headquartered out of California, so I'm getting somebody from the United States. Within 5 minutes, I'm talking to a live person, maybe less than that. 3 times I had to call them about registering. I don't have to do anything. And something about because I'm using normal parts, like it's using the Asus motherboard, and then it's using the Asus GPU, and it's asking me to register, and I call them about that. I don't have to register it because they're responsible for that, So, but it's working well. Like I didn't have to fight. I plugged in my Elgato face cam. It worked right away in OBS. Like sometimes I got to fight with it on AMD for whatever reason, and it's working really good. I was saying I bought this enclosure M.2 NVMe SSD drive. This is I had my operating system on there when I returned the other one. I bought this. Wireless mic, and it's like it comes with it's a 2-pack set, and you plug the receiver into the. I got a well, you can do it on a C or a regular A connection on your computer, or a C. I tried it on the A, it didn't work. Well, not on my other computer. C worked, and how does it sound? How's my Oh, did you buy a whole new one, Donald? Did you you had to buy a whole new laptop, or did you just replace the? Don't throw that away. I mean, it's that's an easy fix. Put another drive in, really easy. Um, yeah, Don't throw the old one away unless I don't know if they have some of those places you can trade in, trade up, or something like that. But that was that old. So it's nothing to put a hard drive in. Although I don't know how they used to make it real easy, but now it's like you got to take a lot of screws out on some of these laptops to change parts. Not that it's hard, but you got to make sure some of the screws are not the same size. You don't want to put a long screw in a part that does, it's supposed to take a short screw because you can go through the motherboard. You don't want to do that. But is my audio okay? Yeah, this is it was cheap. I forgot what it was, 20 something. This was 40 some? No, less than that. It was like 40 some altogether. And I just saw this, and I saw a review on it. I couldn't believe how I thought it sounded pretty good to me. And I'll have to I mean, I did a recording test recording in here I did one in OBS, did one in StreamYard, a test recording. I thought it sounded pretty good. Maybe a little weak, but in here you can do the audio. This will change the level by itself. I mean, if you set it to that, actually it'll do it anyway if you have echo cancellation on, which I do. Um, Hello, Dwight. Dwight, how are you? How's my audio? I'm trying to get a check on it because I'm using this wireless lapel mic, which I think it's pretty good so far. Um, yeah, if you came in, Dwight, late, uh, I'm, I returned that old PC I built, all the part. Well, not entry. I returned the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and video card because I just couldn't get it stable, and something was wrong. It was either the CPU or the motherboard. Just it had a thermal issue, even though it shouldn't have crashed from the temperature that it was reading, but it did. It did. And anyway, like my wife talked me into getting to one that was already put together, and I didn't have any issues setting everything. I got everything installed except for 4K downloader. I'll have to get that installed. Everything's installed. Everything's worked good. I was playing guitar through here last night. It was working good. Got my Focusrite 2i2 hooked up to it. But here, I'll show you this. Here, you can see this. It's not as pretty. I like the case with the white one, which is back here in a corner. But this is nice. It's still got 3 RGB fans. Actually, the CPU core has RGB. My old one didn't. The one I built, either the old one here. But it's pretty cool. The color is not right. It's supposed to be purple. I don't see any purple. Well, I don't have any. If I could go through if I downloaded software for the Elgato, I could fix that, but not really necessary. We'll go through. I could have gone through OBS and did a profile or set up the color right on there, but not a big. It's fine. It's fine for now. Yeah, yeah. This microphone will work on an iPhone or Android. I don't use that stuff to record, but I could. Um, no, not me. No, I do have a lapel mic. Remember that one? You got one too, I think. Remember that one we got a couple 3 years, 4 years? It had the long cable on it and it had a battery in it. That I still got that. And then I bought one that was all USB, didn't need a battery. But it's like it's if you talk loud, you're clipping. I mean, you can get them to work, but this one I thought sound better. It's not like, yeah, we both got the same, but this one seems like it's not. I'll have to play it back, but it seems like this one's not clipping, um, and that's why I was surprised for the money I paid for it. Let me pause this. So it comes with a receiver and two, and it's got this triple thing that they recharge via USB. Here, I'll show you this here. So you just plug one in here and you get the other one, and then plug it in or charge it, and then you just pair it. I mean, we turn it on, hard press it to pair it up, and all she wrote. So working good. But yeah, I can't. I'm going straight through StreamYard, so I can't adjust the brightness on it. But had I gone through OBS and set it up as a virtual cam in here, I could put a profile, set up a filter on the in OBS and got the colors a little different. Put the brightness down, but it's fine. I'm not going to go too long. I know there's a football game on tonight. Who's playing? Anybody know who's playing tonight? Yeah, if a little bright, I can. Let me see. I do have it on. Actually, I have it on automatically adjust to. All right, I turned the automatically adjust mic. I turned that off. I don't know if it's any different, if it's lower or louder. Let me know. Captain Craig, how are you? Captain Craig. Captain Craig, I returned at my last computer, my second one I built. I had to return the parts because at least that one booted up. I was able to get Windows on that, but it didn't work right. And my wife talked me into getting a pre-built one, and here it is. And it's working. It's working flawlessly, and it's like a lower end. I mean, it's an i7 14 Gen. I mean, so it's the latest and greatest, but it's a lower end motherboard. It's one of the cheapest ones they sell, micro ATX. Um, but it still has. Yeah, well, what was good, Craig? Micro Center. I returned it all back. They didn't give me a pro. They did not give me any problem. They returned it all back. I mean, everything I returned to them, they give me my money back or credit my credit card. They didn't even question it because they give you 30 days on returns, right? And on the CPU and motherboard, they give you 14 days. Well, the CPU motherboard, it was past 14 days, except I had the extended warranty on the motherboard because it's cheap, like $35 for 2 years. But even then, they didn't even question it. They didn't even question it. But yeah, I just had just terrible time getting the thing to work right. But I learned a lot when AMD had I mean, every guide. First of all, I asked some help with some friends of mine because I'm just out of it. I have experience building PC, but I don't build them all the time. Yeah, I have built a ton of them, like every 5 years. So I had to read up on them, and then I reached out to a couple friends of mine. I thought they were friends of mine, but I found out they're not friends of mine. They're too busy to help me. Right? Some guys just anyway. That's fine. So I just did a lot of reading. I mean, I learned how to underclock and overclock, and I did precision boost overdrive, and all this stuff seemed to work, but it would still crash. I was running at it. I wanted to run it at 6,000. That's what the 6,000 mega transfer. That's what the memory was rated at. But even though I think AMD only guarantees, it was like 4,800 on there, and I think they guarantee like 52. I ran it at 52, a manual setting. It would crash on there. And the only thing it didn't crash was 4,800. But I didn't really run it very much at 4,800. Very little. and it might have crashed on there too. But it wasn't right. And then there's errors, and then the dump files, the errors were leading to the CPU, overheating, or something's wrong with the thermals. When I took that thing apart, and man, I did a real good job putting the thermal compound. It was like perfect. It was still perfect, really all evenly spread out. But it could have been something on the chips. And when those sockets, they're really easy to bend. So I noticed when I took it off, I noticed they look cut. Some of the chips, some of the pins look a little funky in the socket. I don't know if I bent it, put it on, or taking it off. But it's very hard for me. I mean, very hard not to bend them. But I don't know if that was issue, because it was booting up. It was working. It was working right. I just couldn't keep it from getting hot, and I couldn't clamp the cooler down any more than it did. You just screw it until it stops. But this is working so very good so far. I don't care if it's not quite as well. It is fast in a way. It is. It's Here's the difference. The other one had 8 core, 16 threads on the CPU. This one has 8 performance cores. This is Intel. Intel and AMD, two different things, but they kind of copy off each other. This has 8 performance cores, 12 efficiency cores. This is the CPU, and 28 threads. This is going to be way better for video editing, where the other one, I don't game either way. Like your AMD CPUs are better for gaming. And I know they were having, like they have that issue with the Intel is having the issues with the 13, 14 gen. But it seems like most of those people are gaming. I mean, I put the fix in. I did update the BIOS. They had a fix that came out in the middle of August. So I did update the BIOS yesterday. So it's got that new microcode in there that changes the voltages or something. But hopefully I'm not going to have whatever that issue is. I mean, I don't game. It's really fast. Like I said, I plug something in, it works right away. Haven't had one issue. When I updated the BIOS and it rebooted maybe twice, you had to reset it. You got to put it back. You had to put XMP, your memory profile on it. My mouse, I couldn't do anything with my mouse, and so I just rebooted and it was fine. I was able to turn XMP on, and it's working well. I mean, I can't complain. Look, I'm still in here, I haven't crashed, and I shouldn't joke about it. Shouldn't even say it. Oh yeah, 500. Yeah, Don, five times. I think I went there. Was it? I bought a laptop that I didn't like. I took it back too. So counting maybe 5 or 6 times counting the laptop. I don't know. Hey, Hack, how you doing? I'm on a new. I bought Hack. Listen to this. My wife told me, don't buy anything else. Take it back. So when I didn't take everything back. I took the motherboard, CPU. I kept the hard drive or the SSD, and I like having spare power supply. Anyway, they didn't give me a problem. She told me, don't buy one. Don't buy any more parts. Just buy one put together. All right. So I'm looking at Best Buy. They have some good deals. They have that iBuyPower. I know people knock them, but it's pre-made PCs, and they had a real good deal on this i7 14 gen, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it was like 1050, and I got it, and it's working good, and it's got the same brand motherboard that I returned, not the same model. This is like one of the lowest ones, but it's got 9 USB ports. It's got all the RGB, and it's running good. I mean, really good. I mean, when I had the other one, when I would come into a live stream, I'm monitoring my temperatures. The temperature would just go up. In here, it's not changing at all, not one bit. It's sort of 35 the CPU package. That's what you want to look at. It's 35 Celsius. That is crazy. That is really good. Where the other one, it would start out maybe 40 some. It would go up to 60 some in here. even though it's designed to go to 95 Intel, but for some reason it was just it was just shut down. I don't know. Reading all the dump files, which I did because I got everything off of the drive that was in there, and all the dump files. I was able to read it today, and it was leading to the CPU was getting too hot, or the motherboard, the power delivery, and so something was wrong in that aspect. And I don't know. Like I said, those pins are real hairy, easy to socket. The pins on the socket. I don't know if I bent one putting the chip in, or that could have caused a problem. But some of them are redundant. Some of them might still work all right. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I don't have to worry about if I have a problem. I can just send it back, send it to iBuyPower, and they'll pay for shipping back. Just and then with the problems with Intel is having on these CPUs, they extended the warranty for 5 years, and I don't have to drive 100 miles to take something back. But anyway, I still kind of I might I got but I did buy a case. I bought that on Amazon, so I'm stuck with that. Two power supplies. Well, I wanted the one. I wanted an extra one. I could. Oh, and I bought more RGBs for the other case. I shouldn't have had trouble getting rid of that on Facebook Marketplace, but I still might want to buy. I still might want to buy maybe a lower end one and build it. I could do. I could do an Intel. I could do another Intel like a. Well, if I go with Micro Center again, but then I have to drop up there. They have those. They don't. They have these combo deals. You're not going to do better on those combo deals there. They have an Intel. Um, I think it's like an i5, like a 12 gen and 13 gen or 12 gen i7, i5 for like motherboard, CPU, and RAM for like around $300. And of course, I'd have to get another video card. But here, what I got now, there's no way I could have built it for what I paid. This is 1050. There's no way I could have built it for what I paid for this. It cost me another maybe $200 more. I don't have, everybody complains about Windows 11. I had it on I had my other computer is AM4. I don't have no issues with that. It's a 3800X I built 5 years ago. Well, I built two of them. I built a 3800X AMD and a 3600X. And I put on the 3600X, I put Windows 11 on it like when it came out. But I hardly ever used that PC. I did, but not a lot. But never ever had an issue with that. Never had an issue with that. Of course, with this one that I took back, besides the heat, the whatever it was, the overheating problem, whatever, I was getting some Windows problems. I had one where I couldn't, you hit the start menu, it would come up with this error. The start menu is not working now. We'll try to fix it next time you boot, and it was still there. And I'm trying all these fixes. The only one I had to do, the fixes didn't work. All the ones I tried, the only one I didn't try is make another account. But what did work was I did a in-place install. So I reinstalled Windows 11 in place. I didn't lose any files or nothing. That worked. But then, I crashed again. Rebooted. I said I had enough of this stuff. And anyway, all the dump files, and I saved them. They were leaning towards a heating problem. So now, what was that? Craig, can't you use what was that called? Wine? Couldn't you run Windows programs in Wine on Linux or something? I haven't done Linux in a long time. I used to do Linux all the time. Yeah, if something would happen where Microsoft goes into a subscription plan, which I'm hearing they may, I I have no problem going with Linux. I don't because number one, I don't game. I think everything that I use, I don't know if OBS. I'm not sure if OBS works in Linux, but I'm not sure if Reaper works in Linux. Actually, let me see. But there's other dolls that do. I know that. Um, Good question. Does RA and Reaper does support Linux on Intel. Yep, it does. What about OBS? Does OBS work in Linux? I don't know. Yes, it does. So probably what wouldn't work, you know what? My line six, my line six Helix Nave wouldn't work in Linux. I'll bet you. I can guarantee you. I bet you that would not work. Does Helix Native work, or does it? Oh, it does. Helix Native can work on Linux. There's some of you have reported issues. One user reported Helix Native 3.0 worked on Ubuntu Studio. How about that? And this is when I'm reading it's old stuff, so I imagine it. Yeah, I imagine if they did have any problems, it does work. How about that? Yeah, I have no problem going with Linux. Yeah, I do it a lot of time. I did. I can't remember the last distro I used, but I was using it in a virtual box. But I had to install it all command line. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. And I forgot what Arch. I think it was called Arch Linux. I think I use Arch Linux. But the thing, probably Ubuntu is your best thing. Oh, do you, Captain Crave? Red Hat? Is that Red Hat? Um, Ubuntu is real good, and I guess Mint is really good for you don't need to do a lot. But my trouble with was like if you had a RTX card, not RTX, an NVIDIA card, you update something and it would just something would break all the time. I don't know if it's still like that. It would just break all the time. Um, but really, I don't do a lot. I don't do a lot. I should buy a. I'm thinking about buying like an older. I mean, they have these cheap machines. I probably should have kept the one I sold, but I'd rather. Yeah, I'm liking. Like now I'm starting to lean towards Intel because all the hardly any trouble with this. Maybe buy like an old HP, small form factor, something like maybe like a Gen 6 or 7. Get something for $200 and maybe play around with Linux on that, something like that. I do. I do. I have a Mac too. There's there's my Mac, my M1 Mini. It's hard to see there, Craig. I like. I have a love hate relationship with that, but they get things straightened out on that, and it's fast too. It's really fast. I and and with the latest updates with OBS, you don't need any third party software to get your DAW to work. I mean, if you want to record your DAW through OBS, there's a new thing in your audio capture, and it captures whatever it hears in Reaper. If I'm playing my effects, it's going to come out. And I said, "Oh my gosh!" Because before you couldn't even play anything coming from your DAW in on an OBS on a Mac without using other third party software. But now it's working. She wants to go back to PC. Yeah, I had my listen to this because some guys used to hang around with in Discord who shall be nameless. I mean, they're real high on especially the one guy, real high on Mac, and he was just saying how much better. Well, what he thought was better it was. And and when I got mine, I guess coming up on 3 years now, I couldn't get it registered. And we're thinking they sold me like where did I get Micro Center. They sold me like a return, but it wasn't because it was sealed. And what it was, you have to register it. So you have to have an account. And I never owned Apple product. I mean, I got an iPad, but it was my wife's. We set it up for her name, right? But I used to fix PCs all the time, and I had, people would have trouble with their iTunes. I didn't know nothing about iTunes, so I think I had to get an account for iTunes, and so I did have an account. What happened? It was locked because I haven't used it for like 10 years, 12 years, or something like that. And so it just took one call to unlock it. So I was able to register and get everything on there. But then, what was the issue I had in Discord? I had an issue in Discord where you couldn't. I don't know if it was after an update. Oh, no, no, no! It was because of the M1. Went from Intel to the M1. I had the M1, the ARM chips. Anyway, I couldn't share audio in Discord. If somebody was in there, it wouldn't work. And I had to research that, so I had to go on a, I don't know, command, or the command line, like a boot up in a command line environment on the Mac, reboot it, and then add some stuff, some command line stuff. Then it worked after that. And then I think it's Sonoma, and it's Ventura. I updated the Ventura, and that broke something. And I forgot what broke in there, but it wasn't too hard at fixing that. And then I got Sonoma. I don't think I had any issues in Sonoma. And then OBS, they come out with updates all the time. Then they had that update with OBS where now, like I got to use a third party. Well, I don't have to, but I'm using this plugin called Lander. Lander's like you can go on Lander. It's it's on their they have a website. It's like an online DAW, but they have a plugin you can use so you can collaborate with other people, and you don't have to. You can use that plugin. What that plugin lets you do, you don't have to log in or anything. I mean, on their, well, actually, you have to log in the plugin, but you don't have to log into their site like where you can, use it like you're using an online DAW. You don't have to do that. You can use it in your DAW. I use it. It works well in Reaper. I just put it on a master track. I select Lander, and of course you got to sign into it. And then any effect I put on any of the tracks, it's going to be, I can outsource it to OBS, to here, and it works fine. That they don't charge you for that. You can use that. They don't charge you for that. But if you want to use their online tools as the DAW, you'd have to do a monthly subscription thing. I think they give you 15 minutes free a month or something, or I don't know, or each session. But I never had no intentions of using it like that. But if you have loopback, which I do, I have it disabled. Loopback worked, except what it does, you can't separate. It'll bring in, let's say, if I had a browser working, I didn't want you to hear that. You can't separate that. Not on here. Whereas if I'm just using Lander, I can separate the sound. If that makes sense. So Loopback will let me get sound from my DAW, but what it will do, it'll get it from your DAW or anything else, and you got to turn some things off because it will double. So Loopback will work, but you just got to be careful. You can't separate it like more so like you can do with Lander, if that makes any sense. And I'm probably not explaining it right, but it's my experience, So that's why I still use Lander. It works well. And there's other things you use. You can use, what was that thing I was using that Marshall Tucker got me using? NTI something network. What was it? NTI? No, NDI. It was NDI. NDI tools. Yeah, it's what is the NDI network? NDI lets you source sound, not only sound, video from one source to another one. So in other words, I used it before. I had it on different PCs. I could get my video, let's say if I had OBS, I'm using there, it had webcams hooked up to it. I could open up OBS to, if I had an NDI on it, I could grab it from any computer on my network, and I did that for a while, but it's really not necessary. But the NDI, it was a little touchy. It wasn't like Lander's just one touch and it works. You know, you install it, enable it, and you're done with it. Whereas Lander, you had all these settings. I mean, NDI tools, you had all these settings. It worked. It worked well. But also actually, you can use in Reaper. It's got two utilities in there. One's called Reroute, and the other one's called Restream. You can. This is just for OBS. You can outsource your audio that way too. Yeah. Who do you think's going to win? I think. Of course, I don't know. I like to see the Ravens win. But they got what's his name, the runner from Tennessee. I forget his name. But he's been. They can lose it. They can lose it all at once, even though he looks huge and everything. And I don't think Lamar didn't play an exhibition. I don't think he played one snap. I don't think he could have. Nor did the running back. And you got to figure they're going to be rusty. And I think Holmes played a couple snaps, I believe. And then Kelsey, he's up there in age. He got to be up there now. But I mean, the Ravens can win. But if they don't, I mean, I won't be surprised. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. In tomorrow's game, I don't have Peacock, so I have to come in here, and I'm pretty sure I'm on. I follow Ryan Ripken, Discord server. It's Cal Ripken's son. So I'm on his Derrick Henry. I couldn't think of his name. Thanks, Zach. So I'm on Ryan Ripken's Discord server. He's got a lot of people in there, and somebody's always streaming an Oriole game, and I can guarantee somebody will be streaming tomorrow night's game. So I'm sure I can come in there if it's not on Stream East or something like that, because I don't know if the Stream East will be doing something with only one game. They might. I don't know. Stream East usually works pretty good, but somebody will be streaming it from Discord tomorrow, I'm sure. But then again, I don't know if I got to get with Charles. Oh, want to see something cool? Oh, can I show you on this PC? Yeah, I think it was on this PC, or was I on this? Oh, I got the email. All right, everything's about AI now. So Microsoft has Copilot. I'm not sure if it's availability on Windows 10. I think it's there, but you get more. I mean, you can pay for it, but you get more capabilities in Windows 11. All right, so I'm watching. I think you were in there last night, Captain Craig. Watching Richard last night on the Ball Shredder, and I was playing with Copilot earlier that day because I was thinking about removing it. I started reading about it. Copilot, it's an AI thing. You can have it summarize paragraphs. You could tell it to make a picture of this, or this, and it will do it. The only thing, it's not going to use your picture because of you can't use a picture that you get from the internet, or people for security reasons. It won't do that, but it'll create one from scratch, right, in AI. So I asked it to make a picture with a bald guy shredding on guitar with the name, the Ball Shredder, on his shirt. Let me show you. It does for him. The one on button, it didn't spell it right, or but here, let me get the 3. I'm going to show you the 3. It's really cool. I sent it to Richard too. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, of course, it don't look like him, but it's pretty funny though. Here it is. Let me get. All right. Yeah, Yeah, that will work. Let's do that. All right. All right. Let me share. Present. Share, and we want to do that. So there's one of them. That's That's pretty cool, I think. I think- I'm not sure he spelled that right either. But anyway, but the it was pretty cool, and the other one was, let's see, it was pretty neat. I just wish they could do one with your face though. Pretty neat. And the other one was pretty neat. Pretty neat. So I'm sure we could use it. Like Charles, he's got to try to find a different day because to do his shows because football is here, right? Yeah, Hack, you could come up with something, and you can make it say, uh, guitar hack, or you could say you put it more descriptive, and put it like guy with long hair, jamming out on guitar with guitar hack on with the name guitar hack on his t-shirt. But anyway, so I think you guys get the idea. Pretty cool. Um, but anyway, I think we're trying to figure out what days Charles can do a show because I'm going to be preoccupied on Sundays for the next 6 or 7 months until the Super Bowl, I guess, right? uh, yeah, we were thinking about tomorrow night. But then tomorrow night, I want to watch that game tomorrow if I can. Oh yeah, Captain Craig. Yeah, yeah. But it's pretty cool. Like, let me see. Can I show? Let me show you my desktop. I'm not. Anyway, so Copilot. So I have a little shortcut automatically. It's on the right corner. If you have Windows 11 and you have the updates, it's going to be on the right hand corner. You click on it. You can type it in. Actually, and you can do it from a locally or do it from a website. It'll bring up the website too. And I think you have even more capabilities. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm sure if Charles figures out what day we can do it when we're not interfering with anybody. I think we can probably make some pretty good thumbnails out of that Copilot. I thought it was pretty darn cool myself. I tell you, this thing boots so fast compared to the one I returned. Now, if I kept that at default for 4800 speed, it booted off fast. But when I changed the mega transfer speed, it would like I don't know 35, 40 seconds, And I thought changing that power supply was going to do it for me the last time, but evidently they shouldn't have been spiked. They're hotter anyway. They do get hot. Well, so does Intel. For whatever reason, they get hot, but they're designed to run at a higher temperature. But why was it shutting off or rebooting that when I wasn't near that 95 Celsius? I don't know, but let me see. Oh, I shut that down. I'm still on my monitoring my temperatures. I am still at I closed it and letting it open it back up. Come on. 34 Celsius. CPU package is 37. That's outstanding. 38. Unbelievable. And this is where I always had the trouble before. I don't know. Something's wrong with that chip or the motherboard. But you put that socket on. It was never that. But like I'm trying to put it on right without. It's just so easy to damage the pins on the socket. And I start shaking a little bit. Which at my age, I think I do have a little. I don't see it there, but a little shaking going on anyway. Anyway, so and I was saying I did get so I got Reaper on. I got my NVIDIA, my 2x2 was all working. So I was playing guitar in here last night, sounded fine. Everything. The only thing I have installed is 4K downloader. I forgot, but I really don't put a lot of stuff on here. Not a ton of stuff at all. I don't have. The only thing I'm playing with and on my amp sims right now is Helix Native, nothing else. Well, my other one I have different ones, but I only use Helix Native. And I'm not putting anything. That's all I'm going to put on here. No need to. No need to. But yeah, I wanted to do this. I'm not expecting people to come in. I mean, at dinner time. What I think I set this up for 6, and I just wanted to, you know, mention my trials and tribulations since I've been doing so many, and most people don't care about tech stuff. But I guess I have to call Don. Don was in here earlier. He had to replace his. I assume he replaced the whole laptop. But anyway, I learned a lot, man, doing things and in in on the AM5 platform. Had to manually set the timings, undervolt your CPU so it runs cooler. Or supposedly it did run cooler, except for when I was doing stuff in here. And I don't know. But the thing that motherboard, it was a higher end motherboard. It was like, I think it's like 240. It was a nice looking motherboard. Where this is like the bottom line, same brand, bottom line, but it does the same thing. It's maybe not quite as fast. I don't know if I have any. I don't even know if I have any NVMe slots on there, but I don't need to because I can use this. This is an NVMe. This is the hard drive SSD I had Windows 11 on in the other one, which, well, I got my data off of it and formatted it. And I bought this like last year. This is a SanDisk, but it's a terabyte. So I can put stuff on there, and they're pretty fast depending on the computer. What are you running, Craig? Are you running an Intel? I assume. Yeah, I have an i7 14 Gen F series. I don't have a K. It's locked, and I don't have onboard graphics, which is fine with me. Seems like you do. You are. That's good. My old one, which I don't have, my AM4, I don't have an issue with that, but it does run hot. It'll get 40s and 50s. It'll get in the 50s, and when I'm rendering video, it will. And I don't have to, my videos are 5 minutes, 10 minutes the longest. It's got to 83 before, but that's the only time. Outside of doing running a Prime 95 or Cinebench, which I don't like doing because it blew one of my fans out. But anyway, outside of doing video editing, there's nothing more stressful than that, and it's fine. My old one was fine. I did do. I put DaVinci Resolve on here. I think I mentioned it earlier. It was a short file, but I'm cutting up stuff, add stuff. It was smooth as a rock. Where this is, I think this is going to shine more so on here because of all the threads and cores or whatever, and as where my AMD's only got 8 cores, 16 threads. Yeah, yep. The 9. Yeah, see, now that's on the AM4 platform. I could put that in my old one if I wanted to, because that's not the AM5. That's still AM4. So you're still using DDR4 RAM on that. Yeah, I have a 3800 in that, a 3800 on that, and I'm running with Expo 1 30. And my RAM is 3200 on that. Like I said, I don't have any issues on it, but when I had the other motherboard, well, the first one I bought that wouldn't even boot up, I wanted to troubleshoot to make sure it wasn't a power supply because I had bought a brand new power supply. Well, I switched the power supply from my old AM4 just to make sure it wasn't something was going on with the new power supply, and it wasn't. But I put the new power supply in my old one, right? I kept it in there because the other one's 5 years old. And then of course, that mother would not get out of it would not boot it at all. I took it back, and I just happened. So that's when I got the Asus board, but I bought an extra power supply, so I don't mind having a spare power supply. Now I have two spare power supplies, but Yeah, I got it. I got a I got the i7 Gen 14. I know the issues, but it's like not everybody's having the issues, and I don't game. I did put the microcode. I installed that yesterday. The supposedly fix, that came out a couple weeks ago. I installed that yesterday. I did the BIOS update, and hopefully I won't have that issue. And if I do, they Intel extended the warranty on Gen 13 and 14 CPUs for 5 years. That's what they're telling me on at iBuyPower. I mean, like I said, I had to call them 3 times for a couple. Well, I want to know about registering it, and then there was some software they used for the RGB. It kept on coming up. Um, I said, "Don't need to worry about that," because I did it with ASUS uses Armory Crate for actually you can download drivers. You control your fan speed. It control your RGB colors. Um, but I had an issue with that. It said to reinstall it, but I had to use the uninstall tool. So that worked out fine. But that one thing kept on popping up. This driver can't load or something, or you don't have permission. And I called that. I'm not going to put a checkbox. Don't show, and that's what they told me. You don't have to worry about that. You put that checkbox and say don't show up anymore. But it's working really good. I don't have no issues, like I said. And then I called up iBuyPower 3 times and talked with somebody from the United States within 5 minutes. Unbelievable. And that looks like I'm thinking I have to register something, but I don't. I am registered with them because I'm on their mailing list because I was looking at their stuff lately anyway. But if I have an issue, I just call them up. And so, all right, boys and girls, I think I've been an hour, just about a couple of minutes short of an hour, and nothing is wrong. Everything looks good. I'm really I'm back on Intel, which I used to do. I mean, I used to do, like I said, I haven't built a ton of machines, but I think the first one I built it used a VIA chipset. If anybody remembers that, VIA, and that went pretty good. It was a cheaper chip. But I think you had Intel, AMD, and VIA. They didn't do a lot, but anyway. And I started doing AMD, and I was doing Intel. AMD, I used to do those Bartons, and they were really, you didn't have to do a whole lot with them, and they're really easy to overclock. They work good. I think I did a couple of those, but then I went back to an Intel, and I didn't do anything. I had an Intel i7, like 4th gen. I had that for a while, then for 5 years, and then I built my AM4 5 years ago. Well, 2 of them, and I had issues with this one, the AM4. I had bad memory. It just wouldn't run it. And every 4th boot or 3rd boot, it wouldn't boot up. Just hard pressing, it would boot up. And I switched the memory out with the other AM4 I had with the 3600. Anyway, long story short, I had bad RAM. Anyway, I switched out the RAM, and I haven't had an issue in either the 3800 or 3600. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Go Ravens. Welcome to 2024 NFL, and I'm getting psyched. Look how smooth that is with my Elgato. Everybody have a good night, and go Ravens, and take care. See y'all. Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks for coming. See you later, Dale. Bye. And then stream right now. Should I count down? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. By the way, I'm down 63 pounds. I had a good week. I lost 3 pounds this week. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.